Hey there, I'm Steve,
And I'm Jen.
and we are The Road Less Traveled, and today we're going to talk to you about the pros and cons of RV living.
As Steve just said, we're going to talk to you about the pros and cons of RV living. And let's start with the good stuff. Let's start with the pros. The best thing, hands down, over everything, is that you get to see amazing places and travel. So typically, when you're in your sticks and bricks, you go on vacation, maybe a time or two a year, and you get to see some things, and you go back to your normal life. But with RV living, you get to go check out a state and the cities within that state, and you just get to see a lot more, and you get to be there longer as well.
The second pro is that it's cheaper, at least for us. When you think about how much money we were paying for our mortgage back in our house in downtown Raleigh, RV living is quite a bit cheaper. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's cheap. You still have to pay for campground fees, and you still have to pay for gas or diesel when you're traveling, and there are other regular life expenses like health insurance and so on. Those are still going to be there. But for us, compared to the amount of money that we were spending on our mortgage, compared to the amount of money we spend now, we are coming out a lot better.
Another advantage to full-time RV living is seeing your family more. Now, you may not like your family, so maybe this isn't an advantage for you, but we happen to like our family a good bit. So we have gotten to see my brothers a few times, my dad plenty. I know he's seen us plenty, that's for sure. And Steve's mom and stepdad and his dad, etc. It goes on and on, right? So we've gotten to see everyone, where in a normal year when we were living in sticks and bricks, we would maybe see them maybe once or twice a year if we were even lucky enough to do that. So an advantage is seeing your family more often.
All right, the next one, which is actually kind of hard for me to talk about right now, considering the fact that we've been in a place that has not had the best winter so far. But anyway, the next one is that we get to chase the weather. So typically, if your RV is working and you're not having service problems, you can travel to where the weather is nice. I know a lot of people call this chasing 70 because they're chasing 70-degree weather. But it was awesome in the summer when we were down in Alabama and it was July and it was hot and sweaty and we just wanted to go north as quickly as possible. We went up north to Montana and it was perfect. And then ideally we could have come down south to Arizona or to Texas. Well, maybe not this year. They had a tough winter. Or down to South Florida or someplace warmer. And I think that's a pretty awesome benefit of RV living. Another pro of RV living is the fact that you get to have a lot more interesting and novel experiences. And it's also good for the kids to have more interesting and novel experiences. And it's also good that we get to spend more time with the kids while having these experiences. Now, that one could flow between the pro and the con category in a matter of minutes. And right now it feels like a con, but I will digress on that. So, when we were in Sticks and Bricks, it was pretty much the same routine, the same thing every day, and it just got kind of tiresome. I mean, things were good. It's not that life was bad, but it just got a little boring sometimes, just doing the same things over and over and over again. You'd get up, you'd get the kids off to school or daycare, and you would work, and then you would pick the kids up and then kind of just do the same thing over and over and over again. Weekends became all about just running errands and getting yourself ready for the next week. But with RV living, we get to pick up and we get to go to more amazing places, and we get to do so with the whole family, which is pretty awesome.
So this is a pro for us. I'm not sure how you're going to feel about it, but it is the fact that you can only take so much stuff into your rig. So it's a little bit of a hindrance at first, but one thing I love about it is that you can only take so much. So think about the closet you have now. If you're living in sticks and bricks, go in your closet and see how many clothes you have versus how many clothes you wear. When you're in an RV, you're wearing everything you take with us, and if it doesn't get worn, it should be out of your rig because there's just no room. So you can actually get the best of everything. You get your best pots and pans, and that's all you need. Same with your clothes. And then you don't accumulate all this just junk that's sitting in your house because you literally have no place to store it. So to us, it's a pro because we don't end up with a bunch of extra stuff. And we really have to choose wisely, and then we use the stuff that we have in our RV And if we don't use it, it gets tossed or donated.
All right, I really like that you're getting down with the minimalism.
It's like, what are you coming down to say?
That's awesome. I've been trying to get her to be a little more minimal for many years, and it took, I guess, forcing us down to a tiny little space for her to do that.
I still like having decisions. I like to have decisions. And you watch us, if you watch us and you're a regular watcher, like viewer, I think it's called viewer, wear the same stuff all the time. So I think what I'm going to do is every season, I'm just going to donate my clothes because I'm sick of them, and then I'll get new ones for the next season. There you go. That's a way to do it.
Sounds good to me.
I want to get the stuff I like.
All right, now that we've gone over the pros, it is unfortunately necessary that we have to go over the cons, because although in your mind you may be expecting all sunshine and rainbows, unfortunately it doesn't always work out that way. So we're going to go over some of the real life situations and some of the challenges that you may have while RV living as well. Jen?
Yeah, so RV living's not for everyone. We didn't know if it'd be for us. Luckily, we like it. But the first con are service woes. When you live in an RV full time, it's your house. And it doesn't matter if you tell the repair people that you live there, they don't care. They may say they care, but they don't care. And they may take your rig for much longer than you have accommodations for. We ended up in a good situation. We're at my dad's, but if you don't have family to stay with, then you could really be out of your rig for a few months. I mean, we dropped ours off December 10th. We'll get it back at the end of March. There you go. There's our time frame for a couple fixes. Two fixes. And it's also expensive. Luckily, ours was under warranty and we had an insurance claim. But if you don't have a warranty, there you go. Some expenses can add up.
They're going to try to take it for a long time, but don't let them. I say you take it in. If I were to do it differently, I would have taken it in. I would have had them inspect it. I would have taken it back. And then when the parts all came in, which was like our challenge, they had to work things out with Grand Design for warranty. And then they had to order all the parts. And they actually wanted to keep the RV there the whole time. And we were like, eventually we were like, let's at least get it back and do some stuff to it while we're waiting. But in hindsight, I would not have let them keep it that long.
Yeah, it's a total pain, and we've learned that hard lesson, and we're hoping, I have nowhere to knock on wood, that everything goes smoothly when we go back out on the road. You want to talk about the next con?
What's the next con?
This is especially relevant today.
Oh yeah, so in sticks and bricks, and I'm sure it's different now with COVID, and everybody's probably going through this a little bit, but the kids aren't in school, and it's hard to keep them entertained all day, especially if it's raining or if it's cold outside. It's really tough. Or if you're at a campground where there aren't other kids to play with, it can become quite a challenge. So definitely keep that in mind. And it also may depend on your children and how they actually are and around school, and if they just are the types that pick up their books and start doing their thing independently, then you may be okay. Well, that's what I was kind of imagining. I would work, Jen would work, they would work, but it doesn't quite work out that way. As I'm sure a lot of you people now, even in sticks and bricks with COVID, have come to learn.
Yeah, and Steve was in fantasy world. He made it really nice in his head, and the expectations didn't meet that pretty fantasy in his head. As Steve said, it depends on your kids. We have two completely different kids. The school-age kid, Ben, is, school's not his jam, let's put it that way, and it's been a little difficult. I think it also depends on you and your interest in teaching and doing things outside of the box, if you will. Some people do it very curriculum based. Some people make it more unschooling, but either way, you need to kind of figure some stuff out. And we've met moms and dads on the road that are just really good at it. They impress me. I'm like, can you just teach our kids? It's great. So it also, Steve said it himself. He's no teacher. So there's that. And I think ultimately when we think about when our journey will end with RVing, I think that's going to be really what ends up stopping our RV travels and getting us to settle are really the kids, because that's been the biggest eye-opener for us. If we didn't have to school them and they could just hang out and play and we could see all these cool places, then it'd be different. But, our kids need an education. So
that's been our biggest challenge for sure.
Yeah, and this is a little bit a part of it. I don't know if you want that as the same.
Which one?
difficult socialization?
It's a little bit different, I'd say. So, socialization for your kid is a little bit of a challenge, and we need to get better about this because there are groups out there, for example, full-time families, where there's lots of other people with kids who are full-time RV living. So you could meet up with them, and your kids can. And actually, we met up with some people in Moab, and the kids had a great time, and they socialized. But I don't think we did that nearly enough when we went out the first time. So that is a challenge and something that you definitely need to keep in mind.
Yeah, and I think if you're at home and you're sticks and bricks and you have COVID going on, you're doing virtual teaching, that's probably a reality for you as well. So you're probably getting a glimpse into that. I think another con, sometimes it could just feel hard. Like you go get set up and it's fine, but then you're like, oh, well, the Berkey's not giving us enough water. We have no water, or our propane's out, or, it's like, so sometimes it can just feel hard, or, hey, we have no clean clothes. This place doesn't have a laundry. And, those things, yes, you can plan for them, but sometimes they do catch you off guard. So it's more work. Wouldn't you say?
It's quite a bit of work, yeah, actually. So if you don't like to get out and do hard work, then it's probably not the right life for you. Or if you're not able to handle challenges that may come your way that you didn't expect, then it's probably not for you either. But yeah, just even like when you're traveling, you're setting up and you're breaking down, and especially if you have kids and they're trying to do other things that aren't really on the same agenda as you are.
They're never on the same agenda as us, let's be honest. Never.
Yeah, so it's definitely quite a bit of work. And actually, sometimes I feel like that's almost like a pro for me. I feel good on travel days when I get to get up and I'm on a mission and I get to get a lot of stuff done in the morning. I like that better than like right now where we're sitting around, and I don't feel like I have quite the same mission in the morning.
He's got a whole to-do list. I don't know what he's talking about. But and also when you're setting up and breaking down, sometimes it's not a pretty day like today. It's pouring down rain like it just was for us a few days ago. We got hitched up, got on, started in the rain and ended in the rain. So it was just not good. So it's not always fun. Let's put it that way. Anything else to add?
Nope.
Yeah. All right. Another con is kind of like a no-brainer. You're gonna be like, duh, but like less space, less privacy. You have no privacy. Like there's none. We have doors, but you can hear through those doors. You can hear outside. You just don't get it here. I don't know what to say about that, but it is a reality because you love your family, you love your spouse, you love your kids, but they can also get on your nerves a good bit. And when you don't have space or you don't want everyone to hear what's going on, you'll need to actually go out away from your family, take a walk, those type things, or be outside and try to get some space. If you work, so if you're trying to have some quiet downtime to work, it can be really tough. But if that is a concern for you, then think about the type of rig you're going to get and see if there's more privacy than maybe ours allows, or if maybe there's somewhere you could work outside of the rig.
Yeah, I'd say the work thing is the biggest challenge as relates to privacy for me, because Jen wants to get some work done, and I become the one that's responsible and blamed when the kids are noisy and interruptive. So it's just a difficult situation from that regard.
Yeah, so that's been tough as well. And I think this is funny. We have this one, which we're going to sound really lazy here. But yeah, we've got a dog. We've got a beautiful 110-pound golden retriever. And in an RV park, it's not like you can just let him out to go to the bathroom like you can in a yard. Like out of my dad's yard, just go to the bathroom and you're done. You're in an RV park. It's 6 a.m. You're in your pajamas. It's pouring rain. You got to go walk your dog. It's not really fun, but we love them and we wouldn't trade them for the world. I'm just saying it's a reality.
If you're used to having a fenced-in yard in your backyard, which we were.
Now, thinking about Stilton and having a dog in an RV, there is one more thing that popped up for me, and it was medical appointments. We're all reasonably healthy people, but then, of course, Stilton gets sick, or actually Ben's have some medical Ben's had some medical problems and continues to have some medical problems that we needed to take care of. And our domicile is in Raleigh, and it's kind of far from where we've been the majority of our travels. Even from Alabama, it's a 12 to 15 hour drive. So, we need to do a video just on domiciling because I think we're going to switch ours. But think about that. It could be a con depending on where you domicile and where you need to go to the doctor. There are some national health plans out there. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole there, but it is like your dog's going to need to go to the vet, your kids are going to need to go to the pediatrician. We need to get checkups, those type things. So that's one thing that makes it a little bit harder when you're full-time RVing.
Yeah, I think we need to get to that domicile sooner than later because I'm tired of hauling it up to Raleigh in the winter just
Yes.
for some doctor's appointments.
Just for, it's not like it was minor.
Well, whatever. But still, I'd rather not do that for doctor's appointments. I don't want to go all the way up there in the winter. Remember I said one of the pros was chasing the weather? Well, we have not been chasing the weather at all. We've been chasing the opposite weather.
Well, we're on a con, and that's one thing I want to be clear. Like, it's not necessarily routine doctor's appointments. So, you never know when something's going to happen, right? Like I said, we're healthy people. We didn't anticipate any urgent need to go have a hospital visit, but we did with Ben. And so that made us have to go to Raleigh and in the hospital for tests, those type things. But you never know. Something could pop up for you, even though you're a very healthy person, that you'll need to go into a hospital or some kind of outpatient facility. So just something to consider. It is a con, I think, of full-time RV living.
Ben's fine, by the way, so don't worry about it.
He's fine. He just, yes.
Your minds may have jumped some places with the fact that she didn't tell you exactly what his problem is. So
Well, should we just say it now?
he just had some seizures, and we just wanted to get him checked out, but he's okay.
Yeah, he has seizures, and we need to get him on medication for seizures. So he is A-okay, but we were pretty concerned for a while. So that's it.
That's it.
Pros, cons, you got to weigh both. And even though we are in the pro category, we're aware of the cons, and we know that at some point some of these cons may be kind of weighing a little heavier than the pros. But right now, we're still loving it when we can go out on the road.
Yes.
So we got plans. We're going in a few weeks, about 3 weeks.
All right, if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. And if you've not already subscribed, please consider doing so by hitting the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks for watching.